So your church has likely been posting content on social media for a while now, but have you ever stopped to ask yourself, who are you doing that for? That's what we're diving into on today's episode. A couple weeks ago, I published an article introducing you to my A.R.C framework. It is the 3 things that you need to consider before publishing really kind of any piece of content for your church. And it looks like this. The A in the A.R.C stands for audience, or who is this for? The R stands for response, or what is it that you want the audience to do in response to this content? And the C stands for channel. Where am I posting this? What are the best practices for that channel? Or are there restrictions that that channel places on the type of content that I can post there? I'll post a link in the description below to that article if you'd like to learn a little bit more about my A.R.C framework. But for the purposes of today's video, we're going to focus on the A, or audience. When you're posting content to your church's social media, who is that content actually for? The first potential audience for your church's social media content is your existing church congregation. And I would argue that for most churches, the large majority of their social media content focuses specifically on this audience. That might look like sermon clips from last week's sermon. That might be event announcements about upcoming events. It could be small group discussion questions, or just various other ways that churches are trying to stay connected with their congregation throughout the week. Now, I love it when churches are thinking about staying connected with their congregation throughout the week. I think it can be really beneficial to the discipleship of the congregation, but I don't think that social media is the best way to do that. Let me explain why. If your goal is to deliver content to your existing congregation throughout the week, there are much better channels to accomplish this. Let's say you wanted to distribute small group discussion questions and you had 1,000 people that had liked or followed your Facebook page. When you post those small group discussion questions, Facebook is only going to show that content to about 10% of the people that have liked or followed your page. That means 90% of the people that have liked or followed your Facebook page didn't even see that content. And that's not even taking into consideration how many people in your congregation either don't have a Facebook account or have not yet liked or followed your church's Facebook account. Unless they're specifically going out of their way to go to that Facebook page, most of your congregation's not going to see that content. Think about it like this. How many letters would you send through the postal service if 90% of them didn't end up at their intended destination? I would say probably none at all, right? That's not enough letters getting to where they need to go. So if we have that same goal of delivering small group questions to our congregation every week, social media is not really a great way to do that. But all we really need to do is change the communication channel that we're using to something like email. For the most part with email, 100% of the people you send it to are going to receive that content. So if social media is not a great communication channel for your existing congregation, who is it for? What is the audience that we should be targeting with the content that we're putting out on social media? I'd argue that the primary audience for the social media content you're producing should be potential new visitors, people that have not yet stepped foot inside your church. And here's the 2 reasons why I think that's the best audience for your content. Reason number 1 is new visitor behavior. What are people doing when they're searching for a new church? They might be asking recommendations from friends or family, but there's a very high likelihood that they're going to end up searching on a search engine for a church near them. Let's say they find your church and they're interested in checking you out. Then what? There's an incredibly high probability that they're going to end up on your social media accounts before they step into your church for the first time. Reason number 2 is reach. Your church's social media content has the potential to end up in front of the eyeballs of potential new visitors. When you look around at all of the other communication channels available to you, they don't have that same opportunity. Your video announcements can't do that. Your text messages and emails can't do that. Your on-stage announcements can't do that. Your church bulletin definitely can't do that. Unless you've got a church member that's passive-aggressively stuffing bulletins in their neighbor's mailbox. It's just not going to work that way. But social media does have the potential to end up in front of the eyeballs of people searching for a new church. But of all the communication channels available to you, social media has the best chance at ending up in front of the eyeballs of potential new visitors. And that's why I think that is the right audience for your church's social media content. It's potential new visitors, it's people that have not yet stepped foot inside your church. If you like this content and would like to see content just like this in your email inbox every week, sign up for our newsletter. There'll be links in the description to do that. Make sure and hit that like and subscribe button here on YouTube. That helps this content get in front of other churches just like yours that are hoping to grow their congregation. If you're feeling lost in all of this or just simply don't have the time to devote to social media, I would love to chat with you. You can find links to contact me in the description below. I help churches use online tools like social media to connect with people in their communities and grow their congregations one visitor at a time. Thanks for watching the video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. Next week, I'll be posting a video talking about what types of content you should be posting to your social media accounts now that you're focused on new visitors. See you next time.